Here's how I would pass USACO Bronze in 3 months if I had to start over. In this video, I show 5 simple steps that anyone can take, even complete beginners who know nothing about coding, that will bring you to pass USACO Bronze and beyond. In addition, I'm going to show you an exact 3-month plan that I took to get myself to pass Bronze. So make sure you watch the entire video to know exactly what you should be doing to pass your USACO goals. Now, I'm not some insane coding prodigy who started coding at 6 and won multiple international competitions at the age of 11. And I know where you've been, stuck, frustrated, and tired of tutorials that make no sense. This is what I wish I had when I started. Step 1. Choose a language. I highly recommend C++, and it's usually the standard for competitive programming, and that's mainly because it's fast, like insanely fast. Of course, that's not to say that you can't get by with Python or Java. You definitely can. But like I said, the standard for competitive programming is usually C++. Step 2. Know the bare bones. If you don't know the bare bones of your language, it's like trying to build a house, but you don't know the blueprint. You have no idea how to utilize your thoughts and put them onto code. Here I have a list of all the basic things that you should know before moving on. And now we get to the interesting part. Step 3. Change gears to thinking. Previously, we were learning the bare bones and the basics, something that you would do in a high school computer science course. But USACO Bronze requires you to utilize these techniques in a smarter way, forcing you to think critically and creatively. You can know all the algorithms in the world and all the techniques in the world, but if you don't know how to think properly, you can't get the problems correctly. Now, the final and most important step is to solve more problems. The more problems you solve, the more different types of problems you will encounter, and that will lead to you building better intuition for future problems. Which brings us to a very important question. How often should you be reading and learning versus how often should you be doing problems? For this, I would recommend roughly a 80-20 split. 80% of your time should be spent doing problems, and 20% of your time should be spent reading editorials and learning about new algorithms. Now, this is just a guideline, and it shouldn't be used 100% of the time. If you find yourself constantly stuck, not knowing the concepts of the problem, maybe it's time to learn some new algorithms. Or also, if you've just progressed a division, there are many new topics you must learn. On the contrary, if you find yourself always doing tutorials and not actually progressing, maybe it's time to go and solve some more problems. Now, what should your schedule really look like over the course of 3 months if you want to pass USACO Bronze? Your month 1 should be dedicated to learning the basics of your language. This means that you'll have to be very comfortable with the following: variables, data types, input and output, loops, if-else statements, logical operators, functions, arrays, and a little bit of 2D arrays. Being comfortable with these things is everything, as it allows you to learn more complex algorithms without stopping every 3 seconds to wonder what a string is. Now that you know all the basics of your language, the next month is dedicated to learning new algorithms, learning ways to solve problems and the techniques you will need to use. Here's what you'll need to know. This is where step 3 really kicks in. You have to think deeper to really understand these concepts. And now that you're 2/3 the way through, it's time for the fun part. And that is solving problems. This is where the true improvement happens. This is where you build the intuition so that you can solve even more problems. This is a crucial and unskippable step if you want to get better at USACO. So how should you start solving problems? For this, I recommend looking at the past 5 years of USACO Bronze problems and just solving all of them. Once you run out of problems there's still more in Code Forces. In Code Forces, you can sort the problems by difficulty, and that way you can find your range of difficulty where you can solve just enough problems where you don't burn out, and also not able to solve the problems too easily to the point where you don't improve at all. Now, with all this information, there is no reason for you to not be able to pass Bronze in the next competition window. But if you want even more in-depth and personalized steps on how you can get there yourself, you can check the link in my bio to find a roadmap and to get in contact with me so we can work together and you can get help from someone who truly knows where you've been.